Big changes at Manchester United. Matheus Cunha has officially signed a 5-year deal with Manchester United. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more United updates and football news. What Matheus Cunha audaciously demanded from United chiefs before agreeing 5-year deal. On Sunday evening, it was confirmed that Manchester United and Wolverhampton Wanderers had finally reached an agreement for the transfer of Matheus Cunha following several weeks of negotiations. Fabrizio Romano further verified that the Red Devils will pay Cunha's £62.5 million release clause in installments, while the player will put pen to paper on a deal until 2030, plus the option of a further year. He is poised to become the club's first signing of a pivotal summer window, with Ruben Amorim's squad expected to be trimmed down substantially to both raise funds and get rid of deadwood. Cunha has enjoyed a scintillating personal campaign throughout 2024/2025. In his 33 Premier League appearances, he has recorded 15 goals and 6 assists, undoubtedly establishing himself as the Molineux outfit's standout performer of the term. His contributions were vital across the season, but particularly in the early months when it looked as though Wolves could well drop down to the Championship after it took them until November to win their first game. What Matheus Cunha asked of United chiefs before agreeing Old Trafford move. Now, it has emerged that Cunha had one request for the United board during negotiations. According to TalkSport, the 13-capped Brazilian international demanded that he wear the number 10 shirt from the moment he arrived at Old Trafford, following in the footsteps of club legends such as Wayne Rooney and Ruud van Nistelrooy. In turn, it all but sets in stone that Marcus Rashford's United tenure is indeed over. He has occupied the iconic shirt number since Zlatan Ibrahimovic's departure in 2018, yet has faced an uncertain future at his boyhood club following his first-team exile towards the end of last year. His frequent omissions under Amorim resulted in the Carrington graduate being sent on loan to Aston Villa, where he enjoyed a revived run of form with the Midlands outfit. It remains to be seen where he'll take his exploits next, having spent 20 years on United's books. No chance for Alejandro Garnacho to make dream move to Real Madrid. Alejandro Garnacho looks to be on his way out of Manchester United this summer but is unlikely to secure his dream move to Real Madrid, according to reports in Spain. It was claimed earlier this month that the youngster has instructed his agent to secure him a switch to the Bernabeu, with Real Madrid to be sounded out first before other options are considered. But according to Bola VIP, not only is playing under Xabi Alonso an unrealistic prospect, the entire division is off-limits for the want-away winger. The report claims that La Liga doesn't appear to be a viable option for Alejandro Garnacho, despite being born in Spain. The outlet explains that the winger and his brother have made clear on social media that they have no love for Atletico Madrid, where Garnacho spent his formative years in the youth academy. The player is a known fan of Real, which distances him from being a target for Barcelona, while it is claimed that Los Blancos are happy with their current options, so there would be no place for the 20-year-old. It is hard to believe that a talented young winger's preference for Cristiano Ronaldo over Lionel Messi is enough to torpedo a move to the new camp, which casts doubt over the entire report. That said, there is probably no more space in Barcelona's squad than Real's for Garnacho, who is likely to cost more than the cash-strapped title winners want to spend. Napoli have been heavily linked with the player, and seem set to try to sign him again after missing out in January, and Bola VIP also note interest in the player from Juventus. Chelsea have also long held an interest in the forward, who has now also popped up on Premier League rivals Arsenal's wish list and has even been linked with Liverpool. Bola VIP float the idea of Garnacho joining former United boss Erik ten Hag at Bayer Leverkusen after the two formed a strong bond at Old Trafford, although do at least qualify this as mere speculation. Garnacho has had a difficult relationship with Ruben Amorim since the Portuguese replaced ten Hag midway through the season, and after being benched for the Europa League final has had enough and wants to leave. United are willing to cash in on one of their few truly marketable assets, so it seems to be a case of when, not if, Garnacho departs for a new challenge elsewhere. Managing Man United, Matheus Cunha transfer completed as Delap signs and 8 leave. It was a season to forget for Manchester United, with the club knowing that there will be no European football played at Old Trafford in the 2025-26 season. A 15th-place finish in the Premier League and a 1-0 defeat against Tottenham Hotspur in the Europa League final last week means that there will be a rebuild at Old Trafford. A lot of that will happen in the upcoming transfer window. Ruben Amorim came into the club at the end of last year, following the sacking of Erik ten Hag. But he was unable to turn the season around. Addressing supporters following the final game of the season, a 2-0 win over Aston Villa, the United boss promised that the good days are coming. We have to make a choice, or we stay stuck in the past because this season is in the past, it's over. We fight each other, or we stick together and move forward, he said. 6 months ago, after my first 3 games in charge with 2 victories and 1 draw, I said to you, the storm is coming. Today, after this disastrous season, I want to tell you the good days are coming. If there is one club in the world that has proven in the past that can overcome any situation, any disaster, it is our club. It is Manchester United Football Club. As eyes turn to next season, a lot of work will be needed in the transfer window for what the club hopes will be a more successful campaign. Here's our look at just some of the things we think should happen over the next few weeks and months. Matheus Cunha arrives. United look to be closing in on their first signing of the summer, just days after the end of the season. An agreement is said to have been reached with Matheus Cunha, which will see United pay his £62.5 million release clause to Wolves. The player is reported to have agreed a 5-year contract at Old Trafford with the option of another year, with the final details of the transfer being ironed out. Cunha has been one of the standout players in the Premier League this season, despite Wolves' struggles before the arrival of manager Victor Pereira. The 26-year-old scored 15 times in 33 Premier League appearances in the season just gone. Given United's need for attacking players in the summer, he will add quality in the forward areas at Old Trafford. Getting the deal done early will also show a good statement of intent by United. Delap signs. Another attacking player who has impressed in a struggling team this season. There is a lot of competition for the signature of Ipswich Town striker Delap, with the player having a £30 million relegation release clause in his contract. The 22-year-old scored 12 times in 37 appearances in his first full season in the Premier League. Given his age, he has shown huge potential to be able to make the step up to the next level. Given the struggles and the uncertainty of the future of both Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee, a new recognized striker should. Manchester United could complete £30 million transfer in days as deal agreed. Manchester United are among the contenders to complete a £30 million deal for Ipswich Town striker Liam Delap as Chelsea, Newcastle and Everton all compete for the 22-year-old signature. Liam Delap is set to imminently decide on his future after meeting interested clubs. The coming days will likely see the Ipswich Town forward confirm his departure from the club to remain in the Premier League. The ex-Manchester City youngster is available for £30 million, due to a relegation clause placed in his contract after moving to Portman Road last summer. Delap was given permission by the Tractor Boys to hold discussions with suitors who are willing to stump up that fee. Chelsea, Manchester United, Newcastle United and Everton have all made their case to the 22-year-old striker, and Delap is now weighing up his options. The transfer window opens for the first time this summer on June 10. The Red Devils are said to have agreed the framework of a deal for the young forward, including an outline of personal terms with Delap's representatives, as first reported by ESPN. A deal could move quickly should the England youth international choose to move to Old Trafford. Delap scored 12 goals in 36 games in his first Premier League season as Ipswich could not prevent relegation. The striker's reputation only grew, however, after he completed his £20 million move last summer. Delap and his family have a good relationship with United's technical director Jason Wilcox from their time together at Manchester City when Wilcox was in charge of youth teams. The ex-Blackburn midfielder worked throughout the academy before becoming the academy director, where he stayed until 2023. Chelsea can also offer some familiarity for Delap, with ex-Manchester City under-21s coach Enzo Maresca in charge at Stamford Bridge. Recruitment director Joe Shield also worked at the Etihad as part of the academy's talent management setup. Earlier this season, Maresca spoke highly of Delap. The Blues head coach said, "In terms of numbers, he's doing fantastic. I think he's scored 12 Premier League goals already. It's not just in terms of his numbers, it's the way he plays and fights and is always there. But he's an Ipswich player. He's an enemy on Sunday because we need to beat them, and then after the game I wish him all the best for the future. In the first game, he was quite good for them. We need to deal with that, and we need to do much better compared to the first game, the loss at Ipswich." Everton boss David Moyes have not given up hope of landing Delap, however. Speaking last week he said, "He's spoken to 3 or 4 clubs and he's given us the opportunity to pitch our case. We're probably a little bit behind the black ball, but you never know what happens.